Sammy, say hi. It's time to eat for Sammy again here. This is a seaweed snack with some salmon dip in it. He's learning how to feed himself, so I have to help him a little bit. Okay. See here, Sammy? See the food down here? Oh, yeah. He can get it. Yep. And then I'm just gonna, it's kind of hard to chew, so I just gotta, don't want him to swallow the whole thing actually, but they're really easy to hold on to. He just sucks the salmon out, and then I just cut it, or rip it or something. Okay, buddy, there's 2 more pieces right here. Yum. This is a really good snack for keto kids, keto people. It's just these little seaweed snacks that you get at the store. And then I got some salmon dip from Trader Joe's. And it's about a 2-to-1 ratio, fat to 2 times the fat to like any other carb and protein in there. Yeah. Let's get this piece. So, one more time. So because he's been spoon-fed, he thinks that food comes from a spoon. He doesn't quite have that connection to that my hands make yummy. My hands can do it, so I'm working with him to remind him that, but he typically doesn't want to use his hands. So he needs this sort of exercise where, and he's feeling the food and putting it in his mouth with his own hands. And even though he's not that good at it and I have to help him, it's good practice and he'll just get better and better. Sometimes I forget to do it and I'm just in a rush, we're in a hurry, and he he just needs this practice, so it's much easier just to get a spoon and feed him the food, but this is really good for, see how I'm rolling up the food, but this is really good for learning and development. Since he's so far behind, he really needs all the help he can get. There it is, buddy. Yep. See that time he didn't really even need help? But I am not going to let him swallow the whole thing. Yeah. If he'll let me. Uh-oh. Hey. There we go. Got it. He bites really hard, so. But he'll just suck all that salmon out. The seaweed snack is kind of chewy, so that's why I don't want him to have it all in his mouth. He's getting so much better at chewing, though. So much better. I barely even have to worry about him anymore. It's great. So, yeah. Oh, here's the food, buddy. Here's the food. Okay, let's get this arm. Both arms. Yeah, let's see. Get it with these fingers? Yeah, we can get it with these fingers. Let's try. Okay. Yeah. Very nice. His left arm is way slower than his right arm, so he still doesn't understand how to use it as much and well. He always gets things with his right arm, but he just needs to become more aware of it, and the more aware of it he'll become, the more connected he'll be to his body, with his brain, his nervous system. It's crazy what one silly little vitamin can do. B12, Yeah, I was vegan, and he did not like that. Babies are not supposed to be vegan. Now I've had to give him lots of animal stuff, and it's helping. And lots of fat, because you can't get the right fat for growing your brain on when you're vegan. Or B12. And probably a lot of other stuff, honestly. I mean, he was so messed up. It's so amazing that he can even do this. It's also so amazing that he still needs so much help at 3.5. And see, he's going for it with his right hand. He almost had it. It's right there. What was I saying? Dang it. Oh, you got that one easy, Sammy. I just gave it to you. So he's never been on a feeding tube. The doctors told me to put him on a feeding tube, and I didn't. And I'm so, so glad that I didn't, because he's actually learning how to eat and chew now, and he wants to. If he was on a feeding tube, he would, his brain would not even care to figure out how to eat. It would just, it was already be full, and I also wouldn't be able to do the keto diet, like, with a tube, a permanent feeding tube. There are keto, like, shakes and stuff that you can put in a feeding tube, but it doesn't have the same, it's just a manufactured shake, He is, getting real food. I can do all sorts of interesting things like sardines and beef tallow and liver, and I don't think you can do that stuff through your feeding tube or get the same nutrition, so I'm really, really glad, and I know some people, it really does help some people, and it's not actually permanent, a feeding tube, but, I'm just really glad that we didn't do that, and that he's learning now. Yum. How to feed himself, and chew and swallow and eat. He can eat meat. He can eat, I barely have to blend it anymore. I used to have to blend it. Just to get the right amount of fat and stuff, So the keto diet is like anywhere between a 4-to-1 to a 1-to-1 ratio, fats to either carb or protein, so really high fat, basically. And so we started out doing 4-to-1, and he started getting better and better and better, and then now we're on, we go anywhere from 4-to-1 to 2-to-1, and even 1-to-1, and he's doing great, and just really happy that he can feed himself now. He couldn't even hold his head up before. I had to shove food in his mouth. It was crazy, and he would barely even eat, and he couldn't even, I had to support every inch of him when I was feeding him or carrying him or doing anything, and whoever was taking care of him had to do that. I've had help from a lot of people and from my mom mostly, but yeah, so anyway, it's me and Sammy's update for the day, and everyone check out the keto diet and highly nutritious foods for kids with brain damage / nervous system issues, damage, whatever. So keto diet, the ketogenic diet's really good. High fat is really good for the brain and the nervous system. And anyway, toodaloo. Say bye, Sammy. That works.